Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Channel 9, and I'm your host, Tommy Tylo. Today, we've just received some breaking news about prions and their relations to proteins. What are prions exactly? Well, before we get into that, let's dive into proteins. Proteins are large, complex molecules that play many key roles within a body. They are produced in a similar two-step process called protein synthesis. During protein synthesis, DNA is transcribed into RNA, and later, RNA is translated into protein. Proteins do most of the work in the cells and are required for the basic structure, function, and regulation of the body's organs and tissues. Now on to our big brain prion expert, David
Prion
Sather.
diseases are caused by misfolding prion protein, which causes other healthy proteins of the same kind to misfold. The proteins that make up these prions are found throughout the human body, specifically in cell membranes, and are called PRPC. This protein normally has an alpha helical structure, but when that protein is misfolded, it becomes PRPSC, which is a prion protein. And while the exact structure of this is not known, it has a higher proportion of beta sheets in place of the alpha helix structure in the normal PRPC molecules. Aggregations of this differently structured protein form amyloid fibers, which can accumulate together to form plaques in the brain. These fibers are also able to attach to other prions, increasing the size of the plaque. Normally, the only PRPC molecules with the same amino acid sequence as the PRPSC molecules are able to misfold and join the plaque. However, it is possible for other PRPC molecules to become misfolded as well. These prions are created spontaneously due to genetic factors or for unknown reasons, but can also be introduced to the body through consumption of prions in food or through unclean tissue or medical equipment in hospitals. They have also been found to accumulate in plants and manure in nature, which means it is possible for them to be transmitted from the environment. Scary, right? The amyloid fibers in the plaques that cause neurodegenerative diseases by forming holes in the nervous system tissue. Some of the symptoms of prion diseases are convulsions, loss of balance, dementia, changes in mood and personality, and death. These diseases are always fatal and often have a long incubation period before striking and leading to death not long after symptoms appear. Spooky, right? Now back to Tom.
Thank you, David. Now let's look at some notable events caused by prion diseases. You've probably heard about mad cow disease before. It's a prion disease that primarily infects cattle. Did you know there's another disease just like it called Creutzfeldt-Jakob disease, also known as CJD? CJD may occur spontaneously, be inherited, or be transmitted by contact with infectious tissue, such as during a transplant or from eating contaminated meat, such as diseased cattle. Although this disease is rare for humans, it is still dangerous because it has no cure, so it would be better and in your interest to seek treatment as soon as possible. The United Kingdom had a mad cow disease outbreak that affected cows throughout the United Kingdom in the 1980s and 1990s. Over 4 million cows were slaughtered in an effort to contain the outbreak, but unfortunately 177 people died after contracting CJD through eating the infected beef. Another prion disease is called curry, which is also a very rare disease. It's caused by a prion found in contaminated human brain tissue, so the only possible way you can get this disease is through cannibalism. I understand wanting to gain knowledge quick, but you should stick to books and just get smarter. Now I'll hand it to our lead researcher in prion diseases, Fernando.
Despite the work scientists are currently doing, there are no known cures to prions, but there are some treatments that can be done to alleviate pains and help the victims live easier lives with their conditions. Some treatments include reducing psychological symptoms with antidepressants or sedatives, providing pain relief with opiate medication, and easing muscle spasms with drugs like sodium valproate and clonazepam. Some of the potential therapies that scientists are investigating as a possible solution or cure to this disease are usage of antiprion antibodies or antiprions in order to inhibit replication of abnormal PRP. Because of the severity of this disease, some people require assistance with simple tasks while others have to take IV fluids or use a feeding tube. Countries and food distribution companies have set up some preventative methods and regulations for this disease, such as blocking parts of the livestock, mainly cattle, like the brain or the spine, to be used in food products for humans or animals, or disposing of used medical instruments. Despite this, there is no way to prevent hereditary forms of prion disease. So, to recap, prions are brain-damaging disorders caused by improperly folded proteins. It grows to form clumps that lead to holes in brain tissue and over time decrease brain function. Some prions can be acquired through genetic transmission, some through contaminated food or medical equipment, and some form with no known origin. There is no cure yet, so medics focus on treatments to relieve symptoms and make living conditions easier, and we can't be sure how soon a cure will be discovered, as scientists are currently learning about this disease. Moral of the story? Hope for the best and stay safe, folks.